Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. Today I will show you how do I change colors in Photoshop and also how I create a dramatic scene using Lightroom. So there are two parts to this video. The first part, let's do Photoshop. In Photoshop, the first thing that I always do whenever it's a night sky. So I don't need to reduce the brightness of the sky anymore like I always do. The other part is I will always try clicking auto tone, auto contrast and auto color. So this is the image. So I'll always try clicking auto tone and auto contrast. So this will automatically give you a better picture than what it usually appears. So I have done all the three there: auto tone, auto contrast and auto color. And this is the picture that I got. And the next step, I want the vehicle to be very vibrant. I don't want to affect the other parts. So what do? We just select the vehicle. So use any tool. You can use any tool. There are a lot of tools to select. So I am just selecting the vehicle. Once this is selected. By the way, are you guys afraid of haunted places? If yes, write down in the comments below how many of you have been to a haunted place, like full of wrecks, full of dismantled things, like you're scared of things. Why don't you share those experiences with us? So I have selected this part of the vehicle and I want to make this more saturated. So after we select, go to image, go to adjustments and then saturation. Increase the saturation a bit. Yeah, this looks okay, I guess, somewhere there. So yeah, I'm happy with it. And the next step, also deselect it. And the next step, whenever I usually click Rex or whenever I edit Rex, I make sure that the interior is kind of glowing. It gives you a very dramatic feel. It gives you a very haunted feel also. So I want to make this part kind of glowing, probably a bit reddish in color. So how do we add colors in Photoshop? From my last tutorial, the first thing, create a new layer. Go to layer, new layer. After that, change the blending option to overlay. What does this do? It will still give us the details after we paint the color. Opacity, let's keep it at 43 for now. And we can always change it later. Select a brush. I want it kind of maybe reddish in color. So I took a brush. I chose my layer. I'll also choose which part do I want to paint. So I'm using a quick selection tool. And quickly my selection is done. Right? Something happened in the collection. My selection just disappeared. Right. So I have quickly selected this part. Are you serious? What's wrong? Okay. I got it. Right. So here's my selection. I don't want this to come here. So sorry for the pause. I had to use both my hands, so I had to leave the mic, hold Alt option, and subtract it. But anyways, you can use any of the tools on your left hand side and do a selection. So I have selected this. Now I'll take a brush and I'll just paint on it. Now I have to paint on the new layer which we did. So paint it. So now you see there's a glow now. Initially it was kind of very pale in color. Now I have a glow. Am I okay? But this, I'm not okay with this. I need a more orangish thing. So let's do orange itself. Right. So I'm happy with this. An orangish glow. Let's do one more thing. I'll select one more color maybe. A bit more reddish, bit more orangish. Kind of bright orange in color. Yeah. So I'm happy with this. And then I deselect. So the interior is now glowing, the exterior is kind of vibrant. The next step is our color grading. Before I color grade, I also want to change this color. I don't like blue here. I want to match this warm tone. So how do we change colors selectively in Photoshop? It's very simple. The first thing, I'll flatten the image so that there's only single layer we are working with. So flatten the image and then go to image. In adjustments there's something called replace. So select replace color, select the first eyedropper tool. So there's this tool, right? Select that one and then just click on the parts where where you want the color to be replaced. Now if some part is selected here, right, click one more, some other part is selected. Now just hold the shift key and then press on all the places where the color matches this color, like this. So I have made a pretty average selection now, and then this is the color which we are working with, and I want to change this color to, let's do maybe orange, something like this. So you see, in one click I have changed the entire color and it is not even looking artificial. The color blends in perfectly. This looks rusty and this looks a bit more eye-catching, I guess. So I'll leave it at this. I'll leave the color to be this. So I have added an inner glow. I have changed the color. Now press OK. Let's change this green also a bit. So again, go to image, go to adjustments, replace color. Now again hold the shift key and then press on 2-3 spots. You will make a selection. Here we go. Right. So now I have made the selection. What do we change this color to? Let's select red. Let's see how it works. No, this is affecting the sky, I guess. So let's not go overboard. No, this is fine, but yeah, this looks scary, isn't it? Wow, this looks amazing. I don't know, I somehow like it. So I leave the color at this. Just a random color, whichever color you choose or whichever color you're happy with, just select that color. I am happy with this color. I have selected this. So this is my image after I selected the colors and I replaced the colors. The final step is, there's no blue at all in this picture, but anyways, it's okay. Now the next step is color grading. Go to this right bottom. There's a tool called selective color, right? Now what does this box do? So you have a bunch of colors here. Now let's say I'm selecting red. Now whatever changes you make to these settings, they are only applied to the parts which has red. So which parts have red? Most of the parts have red. So now for example, let's say I'm reducing cyan. So whatever the adjustments are only appearing on the parts where red is already present. It is not appearing here, it is not appearing here because there is no red here, it's only green in color. So whatever adjustments that you make, it only applies to the parts where red is present. Let's say I want to make this a bit more magenta-ish. No, a bit more yellowish would do. Right. Now let's select yellow. So which means whatever adjustments that I make, they're only applied to yellows. Right, so this is okay. I'm just color grading it. Now selectively I'm choosing how each color should look like. So I've selected green, so which means only these parts are affected. The what do you call this? I don't know, speed bumper, guard, whatever. So whatever changes that I make, it's only affecting these areas now. So let's say I want to, this looks rusty, this looks good. Yeah, I like this. Right, the last step, anyways, I'm just quickly doing this. let's increase this magentas. Now I want a bit more blue, but blue is nowhere present. Let's see. Alright. Whites. Right. So I'm done with it. I have just made some random adjustments. Even if you don't get the selective color part, I'll do one more video in the next time, so you don't have to worry about it. The only thing, the main thing which we did was changing the colors with another color, replacing the color with another color. That is the important part in this video. So this is before and this is after we color graded. So like now I will save this on the desktop. What do we save it as? Let's say haunted places 1 JPEG, maximum resolution. So my editing in Photoshop is done. I have changed the colors and that's the only thing I have done. I also included a glow here. So I'm done with it. Now the next step is editing in Lightroom. So let's open up Lightroom. Let's go to downloads, Lightroom. Bear with me, my computer is a bit slow, so it will take a little more time for Lightroom to open up. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Also, follow me on Instagram. My username is Travel with Karthik. There are a lot of photos, there are lots of edits, lots of landscapes. If you want me to do any of the tutorials on any of the pictures, do comment below and I'll definitely do them. I'll definitely take them up. Also, if you have any queries related to photography, feel free to write to me on Instagram. I am always available there, at least 18 hours a day, replying to many queries. Anyways, so this is the photo which you see here. This is the photo that I have posted on Instagram. So the colors which we have done right now are a bit more different to what the colors are here. But anyways, ultimately let's get to a dramatic picture like this, a dramatic scene like this. So as of now, our picture is not close to where this picture is. Let's try to get there. Select a source, select desktop, and check all. Don't concentrate on this monkey pictures of mine. Those were taken like 7-8 years back. I look a bit more better now, I guess. Anyways, so yeah, so I got my picture like this. Then now I will imagine how this picture needs to look like in my mind. So I want these headlights to glow. I want this vehicle to come alive. I don't want this to be dead. So I'll put a headlight here. So I'll put a light here. Then I also want bluish color. Like I don't want this complete yellowish color sky. I want a bit blue here and yellow here so that it's contrasty. Also, whenever we put headlamps here, there should be light falling here as well. So let's take care of that also. Before we proceed, the first step that we always do is decrease the highlights. Don't worry whatever happens. When we increase shadows, it will anyways be rectified. So increase the shadows a bit. This is and then increase the whites a bit, decrease the blacks a bit. So this is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. Okay, the next step, we always use brushes. Take a bigger brush. I want to make the sky a bit blue, so what do? I double click on effect so that all the values go back to the default values. I'll decrease the temperature a lot so that whatever I paint on turns blue. And now just paint it. See, I have just painted it, it automatically turned blue. Isn't it wonderful? Like I have done absolutely nothing and it's already blue in color. Next step, double click on it. Are you serious? Alright. Select a new brush, double click on the effect so that again they come back to the default values. Before I do this, let me select this. I selected the older brush and I also increase the clarity a bit because they are stars. Let's say they want it to be a bit more vigilant. Right. So I have increased the clarity of the last selection. Now if I took a new brush, double click on the effect so that they come back to 0. and I want to put some headlights here. So decrease the size of the brush first, which is approximately equal to the headlight. A light would be yellowish in color, so I'm increasing the temperature a lot. It also would be bright, so I'm increasing the exposure a lot and highlights a bit, and then just click on it. You see there's a glow already. There's one more headlight here. Click on it. Now let's see, does this look like a headlight? A bit, not exactly. So I will just increase that. Yeah, this looks okay, I guess. This looks fine. Now, yeah, this looks fine. So this is my headlight. This is my vehicle. I have turned the sky to be blue. Now, if the headlights are on, I need some light here, and I don't want the light to be spreading here. What do? I select one brush, double click on the effect again, and I'll reduce the exposure a bit, reduce the highlights a bit, and I'll paint on the surrounding areas because I don't want these to be bright. So yeah, so I don't want these to be bright, so I've painted on them. Now take one more brush, take a new brush, double click on effect, increase the exposure a bit, probably plus 91, increase the temperature a bit because the light would, whatever falls would be yellowish in color. Now paint on the areas just before this, because these floodlights should give us some color, right? So let's say this is the color that it is giving. So artificially I have created light now. You see, I'm just painting with the brushes whatever I want to do. I'm not using any difficult technicalities. I'm just using a brush tool and I paint whatever I want to keep. This is appearing a bit greenish in color. I want it to be a bit yellowish, but it's okay, I guess. Yeah. So this is what we imported from Photoshop, and this is where we are. You see, there's already a difference. Is there anything else that I want to do? I double clicked on effect by mistake while this brush was selected, so I just pressed Ctrl Z so that it came back to wherever it was. Right. Now again, the last step is doing something for the sky. So I'm applying a graduated filter. So I'm decreasing the temperature a bit more so that it becomes a bit more blue in color. Also, let's increase the clarity a bit more. Let's see how it looks like. Right, so yeah, it looks fine. Yeah, this looks okay. Right, so this is what we got from Photoshop, and this is what we have after we have done in Lightroom. So that's it for the day. I am happy with this photo. Finally, I'll just export the image so that I'll put this up as the thumbnail for you to watch the video. So from you, the next tutorial that I'm gonna do, which will be uploaded shortly, will be how to make photographs look like a painting. So there are a lot of photos that I've taken in Kashmir, and I'll be uploading one of them. It's a very easy process. It's just again in Lightroom. I'll be following most of the steps which I have already followed. I'll just show how I make photos look like paintings. Anyways, I hope you found this informative. I hope you enjoy this video. Do come back to watch the next video. Take care and have a nice day.